I get the same question over and over again every time my kids are seen doing something in our homeschool room or on Instagram in my stories and things like that. It is always the question, how long does this take? I'm going to give you an answer on that. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler. I have been a homeschool mom now for going on 8 or 9 years. And some questions, I've been on YouTube for a while now. I've been on YouTube for over 5-6 years now. And I get the same question so many times a year, like probably so many times a week at this point. And it's more of a complicated answer to a very simple question, and I always feel kind of silly because I'm like, well, it depends. It's really hard to answer. Like, that question is really hard to answer, and I'm going to tell you why. So this is probably going to be one of my shorter videos, but I wanted to have something up here to reference to everybody when they ask me how long a curriculum takes, because I never really know how to answer this question. No matter what curriculum it is, I never know how to answer this question. You have to understand, the how long does this curriculum take question is almost impossible to answer. It's almost impossible to answer, honestly. And that's because of a couple of different reasons. So first, no matter what curriculum you're using, even if I had the same curriculum as all of you right now. Let's say everybody in my Facebook group, which is over 6,500 people, let's say we all had the same curriculum, the very same book. All of us are going to school that curriculum at different times because we're all different. So I have what I would call more independent learners, and they work more independently of me. And I've set that up myself just because I have a lot of chronic health issues that are not getting better. They're unfortunately getting worse as I get older. And I basically have to adjust to that. So I have taught my kids to not be reliant on me for any of their school lessons, just in case I'm ever in the hospital or I might be bedbound for a while, that type of situation, because I never want their schooling to be interrupted. So I've set them up in a way to be completely independent. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have a role in their schooling. I have an upper high schooler and I have an upper middle schooler. So, and their personalities are just very independent anyway. They've always been that way, which, you know, some kids are not like that. My kids just happen to be that way, and they not only prefer it, but they actually work better that way, and it keeps the harmony going in my house. But that's beside the point. And if you want more information on my independent learners and kind of how I make that work, especially with, you know, major health issues, which I know I don't look sick. I'm having a good day today, which is why I'm filming. But if you want more information on that, let me know in the comments. If there's enough feedback on that, I might do that if it's something that people want. Okay, moving on. Now, with them being more independent, that means that I'm not up in teaching a lesson all the time. And I have 2 kids on 2 completely different levels because there's so many school years apart, especially because I have one child who's going to be a senior next year and I have one child who's still in middle school. I can't really teach a lot of the same curriculum to them both. So we don't do a lot of family subjects here other than Bible because we can't. You know, I have one kid who needs to earn credits, and the other kid, you know, his books are completely different because he's still in middle school. So we don't do a lot of family style subjects together just because it's almost impossible with the way that their grade levels are set. I fell into this like really weird sliver with their ages and grades, and it was just kind of like, it was a bummer to me because I really wanted that atmosphere, but it just didn't happen. When someone asks me how long a curriculum takes, it really is dependent on a lot of things. So one, I want to say each child works at a completely different pace, like completely. I have very independent learners, and they work typically faster than your average child would. I have one especially who is a little bit more advanced. He works really fast, but he's very thorough at the same time. It's really odd. It kind of like I don't understand it. I don't know where he gets that. It's not from me. But he works very fast, but he's also very detail oriented too. So like sometimes he'll take a long time on something because he's being very detail oriented, and other times he'll blow through it, but he'll do a fantastic job, you know? It just depends on the subject. My other child, he's more on par with, you know, the average student his age. And I can only say that because I was a teacher for a long time. He's, you know, your very average, you know, high school kid for his grade. And he works very on level. But, you know, some subjects might take him longer than others. I don't know. You know, my kids are not going to work at the same pace as everybody else's. And I think that people just really don't understand or realize that I could say, hey, this curriculum, it's typically 5 minutes a day. Just, okay, let's just say it's something easy like a grammar lesson, like Fix It Grammar, okay? Let's say we have like a lesson from Fix It Grammar, which they're just editing one sentence a day. That's it. They're editing one sentence, guys. Fix It Grammar says it's an average of 15 minutes a day. My kids are usually done within 5, you know, but some kids take 30 minutes a day because they're very, you know, maybe they don't like it. But some kids, they might take 30 minutes a day, and that might be for a bunch of different reasons. 1, they don't understand the lesson. 2, they're struggling with something in particular within that lesson. 3, maybe you're teaching it. 4, maybe they really just dislike it and they're just dragging their feet. It happens. My kids have done it. You know, there might be a whole bunch of reasons why they're not doing this within their 15 minutes a day. So when someone asks me how long it takes, well, it takes my kids this amount of time, but you can't judge your kids by my kids. I really hope that makes sense and it doesn't sound rude, but basically that's what I tell everybody. Don't judge your kids' pace by my kids. My kids are not the standard. My kids are their own independent selves. Also, another thing that I want to explain is every assignment is different. So let's look at this one, for instance, okay? America the Beautiful. These for us, and Charlotte Mason type of lessons are typically like this. This is more of a Charlotte Mason inspired book. Charlotte Mason inspired materials are typically shorter in length, but richer within the materials themselves. Now, something that's more traditional schooling might not be. And we have like Generations, I would say it's more of a combination of a little bit of Charlotte Mason and traditional school kind of married a little bit, depending on the book. Every book is different, but there's a lot of things in there that screen both of those styles too. But every assignment within the book might be different. So one day they might have to just read half of a chapter. The next day they might have a bunch of sentences that they need to do. The next day they might have to write a paper. The next day they may have an actual like physical activity that they need to do. And all of those things are going to take different amounts of time. So maybe doing the activities takes 15 minutes, but maybe reading the chapter takes 30 minutes. Or maybe it takes 60 minutes. Let's say maybe you have a struggling reader. Maybe it's going to take them 60 minutes. Maybe you have a child with some type of learning disability that you need to help them with. It might take double that time. So again, there's a lot of circumstances that's going to change the amount of time that you're going to be working with that student with that specific curriculum. So each assignment is going to be different. Like the tests for America the Beautiful, for instance, my son is done with those within 5 minutes. You know, like, and maybe that's his assignment for the whole day. So maybe his assignment for the day is 5 minutes of a test, but the next day he might have to read an entire chapter lesson, and maybe that takes him 30 minutes. Now, they're not that long in here. They're only like a couple pages, but I'm just using that as an example. maybe that's going to take him a half hour the next day. So each day within that curriculum is going to be different. So you can't really put a timestamp on an entire curriculum based upon one assignment. And it's really hard to even get an average because it is so wildly different each and every day. Okay, that is my video for today. I hope you guys have a really great day today, and I will see you in the next one. Happy homeschooling.